First, listen. This is the story of a man who has been reincarnated due to extreme frustration from his previous life. And he wants to live this life comfortably. And he was living his life comfortably. But one day the system appears in front of him. And it demands that the protagonist should bond with it. But the protagonist refuses because he wanted to live his life comfortably, and he did not want to decline any request of the system. But the system appears in front of him again and tries to convince the protagonist again and again to bond with it, but the protagonist refuses it again and again. So rude. And the system upgrades itself after hearing the rejection again and again. And now it becomes an invisible system, which can separate heaven and earth. And it can even fight with God. And it has such power that it can destroy the world. And then the protagonist accepts this system and starts bending with it. But the cultivation world does not let the protagonist even breathe, and continues to trouble him every time. And the protagonist wants to live a comfortable life. But no one lets him relax, so let's see what has happened in this story that the protagonist cannot relax. On a beautiful day, under the beautiful mountains, the protagonist of this story is relaxing under the shade of a tree while drinking. And he is very happy with his life and he says, "No need to cultivate, no need to fight in the palace, and I even have an establishment. Life after transmigrating is quite relaxing." But suddenly the system appears in front of the protagonist and says to him, "Host, I am your system spirit. Please bind with me immediately to start your system tasks." But the protagonist turns his face away from the system and says to the system, "No, get lost." And the system is surprised to hear the rejection of the protagonist and asks the protagonist, "Why reject me? I can help you dominate the cultivation world." So the protagonist replies to the system, "I know the nature of your type of systems. You seem impressive, but in reality, it's all about endless grinding with all sorts of pies * making people sick. In my previous life, I died from overwork. Now that I've transmigrated, you want me to work for a system again? No way." But the system politely says to the protagonist, "Please give me a chance. I'll work hard to improve," and the protagonist says, "Working is out of the question. I'll never work again in this life." Then the system thinks, "Is the host rejecting me because I'm not working hard enough? No, I must become stronger." Then the system goes to upgrade itself. By the way, the name of the protagonist is Wang Yang. Then after a few days, when Wang Yang is in the toilet, the system appears again in front of him and says to Wang Yang, "The strongest cheating system has been updated. The newbie task only requires you to hit your head against a wall. Host, hurry and bind with me." But even now Wang Yang refuses the system and says to it, "No, I'm afraid of pain. Go find someone else." Wang Yang also thinks about the system, "I can't even have peace while taking a dump. This system is too annoying." Then after a few days, when Wang Yang was having lunch, the system appeared again and said to Wang Yang, "The system has been upgraded as the check-in system. Check in at the gate of the Spirit Sword sect and receive exclusive rewards. Host, hurry and bind with me." But this time Wang Yang also rejects the system and says to it, "No, how is that any different from clocking in at work?" And the system gets upset on Wang Yang rejecting it again and she says, "Why am I always rejected? It must be because I'm not working hard enough." After a few days the system again comes to Wang Yang, but before the system can say anything, Wang Yang stops the system and says to her, "I don't want to hear it." But this time the system had a lot of hope that Wang Yang would accept her, and so she very humbly tells Wang Yang, "Host, the system has been upgraded to the ultimate lying flat invincible system. Once you bind with me, you'll receive tons of rewards." And Wang Yang was going to refuse the system this time too, but when he hears that now the system has become an ultimate lying flat invincible system, he gets surprised and he asks the system, "What? A lying flat system?" So the system explains to Wang Yang and tells him, "The ultimate lie flat invincible system. Host, after binding with me, you'll be invincible in the cultivation world just by lying flat." And Wang Yang asks the system, "Invincible while lying flat? Sounds impressive. You're not just trying to trick me into binding then slaughter me like a fat pig, are you?" And the system promises Wang Yang and says, "I swear, if I deceive you, I'll crash due to a bug. And Wang Yang, seeing the honesty of the system, thinks, this system seems pretty sincere. Maybe I should give it a try. And now Wang Yang gets ready to bind with the system and says to the system, alright, I'll trust you with this once. Then the system starts the binding process. And in a short while the binding becomes successful and the system says to Wang Yang, congratulations, host, on successfully binding the system. You've received your first reward, the Emperor's potential, mortal to Emperor initial stage. And dangerous power starts flowing inside Wang Yang and Wang Yang shouts, what? I've jumped straight from mortal to an Emperor realm? And now the system looks very up and she tells Wang Yang, the detected host is breathing, and immediately receives a realm breakthrough reward and one primordial Dao fruit. Emperor initial stage to Emperor second stage. And now Wang Yang is very happy to feel his increased power, and he says, whoa! Just breathing can break through realms? This really is an invincible lying flat system. Since I'm already at Emperor's second stage, I'll stop pretending. And a dangerous energy starts going up, tearing the sky, which can be seen from a very far distance. And due to this energy, a very dangerous pressure starts being felt at every place, feeling which everyone gets very shocked. And they don't understand what is happening here right now. Then we see two people and one of them says this shaking, what on earth is happening? Could it be that our spirit sword sect is about to face a great disaster? And the other guy says, immediately ring the 9-ring soul summoning bell and gather all the elders to the main hall for a meeting. This power. Could it be a new emperor has been born? This power is too shocking. The last time this happened was 500 years ago. Quickly investigate which sect or school this new emperor belongs to. Then the scene shifts to Xuanji Palace, Great Qing Dynasty. And someone says, I have glimpsed the heavenly secrets, quickly report to the Empress. After some time, Wang Yang is sitting at a place. His power and cultivation has definitely increased, but he is a little sad and he says, if only things had been this smooth in my previous life. I lived 26 years without even holding a girl's hand. And as soon as the system knows the reason for Wang Yang's sadness, it says to Wang Yang, detected that the host wants to find a doubt partner, displaying available targets now. And Wang Yang gets a little surprised and asks the system, what? Can the Tangping Invincible system even help with this? So the system tells Wang Yang, host, the system has filtered the most suitable targets for you. Please choose. And the system shows Wang Yang some beautiful ladies' photos and Wang Yang looks at those ladies and says this, let's not even talk about which one to choose, I still have to conquer them myself, that's too much work. And the system says, host, don't forget to claim your reward for the doubt partner quest. And Wang Yang says, wait, I haven't even started pursuing anyone yet, why is there already a reward? And the system tells Wang Yang, the Empress of the Great Qing Dynasty, Yilin Lang, requests an audience with Emperor Wang Yang. And Wang Yang gets a little surprised to hear the system's words, but he is also happy. And he gives a thumbs up to the system and says to her, not bad, system dog. It's actually delivering my wife right to my door. And the system gets happy and she says, of course. I'm the ultimate Tangping Invincible system. Then the scene shifts. And inside a hall many elders are sitting and one man says, the Empress of the Great Qing Dynasty, who conquered 6 nations, is personally coming. What's going on here? And Qingyao says, is this Emperor Wang Yang really in the Spirit Sword sect? I've never heard of him. And Changfeng says, I haven't heard of anyone named Wang Yang either. What's going on? Then the sect leader says, Elder Bai Fang, has the sect ever had an elder named Wang Yang? So the elder says, never heard of him. I've read through the sect's records. There's definitely no one named Wang Yang. And the other elder says, Wang Yang. I think there's an unregistered disciple by that name at the sword cleansing pool. But then Changfeng remembers something and says, wait, I remember now. Our founding ancestor once had a master surnamed Wang. And as soon as everyone hears Changfeng's words, they get a little surprised. But then an elder stands up and says, that's right. This Wang Yang must be our true founding ancestor. He's been hiding his identity and protecting the Spirit Sword sect until now. Then the sect leader stands up and he goes to Wang Yang to meet him and he says, Changfeng, go welcome the Empress. The rest follow me to the sword cleansing pool to greet our ancestor on our knees. After some time, all of them reach Wang Yang and greet him by kneeling down in front of Wang Yang and say, "Greetings, founding ancestor." But Wang Yang gets a little confused and he asks the system, "Is this also a system reward?" But the system says, "This is spontaneous behavior, unrelated to the system." And Wang Yang thinks, in that case, let's just go with the flow. Then Wang Yang smilingly says to them, "Rise, no need to be so formal." Then the sect leader says to Wang Yang, "Ancestral master, the Empress of the great Qing dynasty seeks an audience with you. What could be the reason?" So Wang Yang replies to them and says, "Oh, she's probably here to propose marriage." And as soon as they hear this, they get a little surprised and Qingyao says, "Marriage proposal? How? How is that possible?" And the elder says, "This news is too shocking, did we hear it wrong? An empress coming to propose marriage, this has never happened in history." Then Wang Yang tells them, "Since the empress is here, I should personally go greet her." On the other hand, the empress is sitting inside the hall and waiting for Wang Yang. Then she says, "Could it be that Emperor Wang Yang refuses to see me?" And on hearing the empress's words, Chang Feng gets a little nervous and he says, "The founding ancestor, Wang Yang, is meditating at the back mountain. Please, your majesty, wait a moment." And then Wang Yang enters the hall with those people, and on seeing Wang Yang, the empress thinks his aura and attire don't resemble the legendary emperor at all. Could it be that the royal advisor's prophecy was wrong? By the way, the empress's name is Yi Linlang. Then Wang Yang looks at Yi Linlang and Yi Linlang is staring at Wang Yang, and realizing this Wang Yang thinks, "Oh no, I totally forgot to change before meeting her." And Wang Yang says to the system, "System, quickly give me a set of impressive equipment, I need to improve my image." And Wang Yang just had to say this, and the system fulfills Wang Yang's wish and says, "Completed the meeting task. You've received the Imperial Dragon Armor Set. Successfully equipped the Imperial Dragon Armor Set, activating the set's effects." And now Wang Yang's appearance has completely changed, seeing which Qingyao starts smiling and she thinks, This is the true aura of an emperor, absolutely overwhelming." And the elder starts crying and says, "I never thought our spirit sword sect would ever have an emperor realm expert." And Yi Linlang also gets surprised by feeling Wang Yang's power, and she thinks, "This Wang Yang is indeed an emperor, and his realm is much higher than mine." And then Yi Linlang bows in front of Wang Yang and says to him, "Emperor Wang Yang, I am Yi Linlang, I humbly beg you to save our great Qing dynasty." And Qingyao is surprised to hear Yi Linlang's request, and she thinks, Is this really the same empress who conquered the 6 nations? And Wang Yang extends his hand towards Yi Linlang and says to her, "Please rise. I understand your difficulties, but I've lived in seclusion for years, wishing to avoid worldly affairs." And Yi Linlang says to Wang Yang, "As long as Emperor Wang Yang can save the great Qing dynasty, I will agree to any condition." And when the sect leader hears Yi Linlang's words, he is surprised and he thinks, "Any condition? The Empress is making such a great sacrifice." And Wang Yang gets a little confused. Then Yi Linlang says, "If Emperor Wang Yang does not mind, I am willing to offer myself to you." And on hearing this the elder gets very shocked, and the sect leader says, "The Empress offering herself. This is major news in the cultivation world." And Wang Yang thinks, although I'm tempted by the Empress's offer, wouldn't accepting her bring countless troubles? Then the system tells Wang Yang, "Master, Empress Yi Linlang possesses the extremely rare immortal phoenix physique." So Wang Yang says, "System, is there something special about that?" And the system tells, if a cultivator engages in dual cultivation with someone possessing the immortal phoenix physique, they can instantly advance an entire realm. And after listening to the system, Wang Yang starts thinking about something. And Yi Linlang looks at Wang Yang and thinks, with great risk comes great reward. Then Yi Linlang takes an oath and says, "I hereby swear an oath to the heavenly Tao, if I go back on my word, may heaven's wrath kill me and destroy my soul." And Yi Linlang thinks, besides, Wang Yang is quite talented. I'll have to make this sacrifice. Then Wang Yang says, "If that's the case, then please lead the way, Empress." But Wang Yang is happy inside and he thinks, getting an empress as a wife for free, where else can you find a deal like this? Then Yi Linlang and her soldiers kneel down in front of Wang Yang, and Yi Linlang says, "On behalf of the billions of citizens of the great Qing dynasty, I thank Emperor Wang Yang." The sect leader gets a little nervous and says to Wang Yang, "Ancestor Master, the sword spirit sect cannot survive without you. If enemies take advantage of this, it will be catastrophic. Please reconsider." But the system has a solution for this, and the system tells Wang Yang, detected that the sect master is requesting assistance from the host. Congratulations, the host has obtained the Imperial Grade Sect Array formation. 9 Heaven Spirit Sword Array. And Wang Yang gets happy on hearing the reward of the system, and he thinks this system is really generous, giving another Imperial Grade Array formation. Then Wang Yang extends his hand and he has a small spiritual sword in his hand, seeing which the sect leader gets a little surprised and he asks Wang Yang, "Ancestor Master, this formation." But before the sect leader can complete his sentence, Wang Yang tells him, "This is the 9 Heaven Spirit Sword Array. Once activated, it will ensure the sect's safety." Then Wang Yang activates the sword array, due to which all the swords go above the sect and many swords form a colon. And an array formation is formed above the whole sect, seeing which everyone gets very shocked and they say, "This is an Imperial Grade Sect formation. Our sword spirit sect will rise to greatness. Ancestor Master's abilities are truly beyond imagination. Ancestor Master's abilities are truly beyond imagination." And Yi Linlang is also surprised to see the sword array formation, and she thinks, "This 9 Heaven Spirit Sword Array is even stronger than my Imperial Defense Array. The Sword Spirit Sect's foundation is truly impressive." Then Qingyao bows in front of Wang Yang and says to him, "Ancestor Master, please allow me, Qingyao, to serve by your side." And Wang Yang starts looking at Yi Linlang and he thinks, "Another one throwing herself at me? This is becoming a romance battlefield. Isn't this making the game more difficult?" Then the system tells Wang Yang, "Congratulations, Master, Lu Qingyao possesses the rare Spirit Resonance Physique that appears once in 10,000 years." And Wang Yang asks the system, "Now, what's so special about this Spirit Resonance Physique?" And the system happily tells Wang Yang, "A person with this sacred body is loyal, reliable, attentive, and shares a deep connection with their master." And Wang Yang gets happy and he says, "Doesn't that sound exactly like a maid's sacred body?" And the system says, "As expected of you, host, your assessment is spot on." Then Wang Yang says to Qingyao, "Qingyao, from now on, you'll stay by my side." And Qingyao becomes happy and she thanks Wang Yang. But Wang Yang also has an advantage in this and he thinks, having a maid around isn't bad at all." And the sect leader also becomes very happy for Qingyao and he thinks, the ancestral master still values old relationships. With this, Qingyao's future will be limitless. Then Yi Linlang asks the soldier, "Where is the Phoenix chariot?" And then the Phoenix chariot appears in front of them. This is the legendary immortal grade vehicle, the Rainbow Phoenix chariot. That's a treasure on par with an Emperor grade item, and seeing the Phoenix chariot, Wang Yang thinks, the treasures of the cultivation world are truly beautiful. Sigh, come to think of it, I never even bought a car in my past life. And as soon as Wang Yang thinks this, the system tells Wang Yang, "I detected that the host desires a vehicle. Congratulations, host, you've received the Emperor Grade Chariot, the 6th Dragon Imperial Chariot." And after Wang Yang gets a new chariot, Wang Yang says, "Since the situation is urgent, why don't we ride in my chariot?" And Qingyao says, "You're absolutely right, but..." And she thinks the Rainbow Phoenix chariot is already a rare sight in the world. "I wonder what kind of treasure your chariot is, Ancestral Master." Then Wang Yang asks his 6th Dragon Imperial Chariot to appear, and as soon as Wang Yang says this, the 6th Dragon Imperial Chariot appears in front of him. And there are 2 charioteers with him, who drive this chariot. Then those charioteers come in front of Wang Yang and greet him. And as soon as the sect leader and all the elders see Wang Yang's legendary chariot, they get very shocked. And all of them cannot believe that they can see such a chariot in their life, and they say, This is the legendary Emperor Grade Chariot." Then Wang Yang asks Yi Linlang to sit in the chariot, and Yi Linlang thanks Wang Yang. Then all 3 of them sit in the chariot, and Wang Yang gives orders and says, "Depart to the great Qing dynasty." And everyone bids farewell to Wang Yang. After this we see, Great Qing Dynasty's Imperial Defense Array. And many disciples are trying to maintain the array formation together, but now it is becoming very difficult for them, and one disciple says to Grand Advisor, I can't hold on much longer, and Grand Advisor says to all of them, everyone, calm your minds, even if it means depleting your cultivation, hold on until His Majesty returns. Then we see some people, they are very scared and they are trying to run away from here. But then there is a huge explosion, and we see two people trying to break the array formation. And the black-haired man, Xuanyue's 4 generals Song Tie. And the red-haired man, Xuanyue's 4 generals Jiang Yunqi. And Jiang Yunqi says this formation looks weak, yet we can't break it. It's really frustrating. And Song Tie says I didn't expect the Empress to have such formidable tactics. And Jiang Yunqi asks Song Tie, why do you say that? So Song Tie says she's reduced the defense range to just the capital's outskirts, which strengthens the Imperial Defense Array. You keep attacking the array, I'll handle the rest. And Song Tie takes out a dangerous spear. And Jiang Yunqi agrees to Song Tie and he starts moving forward. Then we see Grand Advisor who is having a lot of trouble maintaining the array formation and she thinks, Your Majesty, I'm sorry, this is as far as I can hold. And then Song Tie attacks Dragon Ascension with his spear, which starts moving very fast towards the array formation. But then someone destroys Song Tie's attack and both of them are surprised and Jiang Yunqi thinks, whose sword aura is this? And when they look towards the sky, there is someone in the sky and the one who stops Song Tie's attack is Wang Yang. And seeing Wang Yang, both of them get angry and Jiang Yunqi says to Wang Yang, who dares meddle in our affairs? And Song Tie looks at Wang Yang's chariot and thinks, 6 dragons pulling a chariot, this person must have a powerful background. Then he asks Wang Yang, may I ask who you are? And Yi Linlang tells them both, Song Tie, this is Emperor Wang Yang of the Spirit Sword sect. And listening to Yi Linlang, Jiang Yunqi says, Spirit Sword sect? Never heard of it. Must be some small, third-rate sect from the countryside. And hearing Jiang Yunqi's words, Qingyao gets angry and she says to Jiang Yunqi, how dare you insult the Spirit Sword sect? But Jiang Yunqi says to Qingyao, a mere brat at the nascent soul stage, you have no right to speak before those at the Emperor's realm. And then the system says to Wang Yang, due to your sect being insulted, host has been awarded the Saint-grade martial art. Heaven and Earth Star Technique. And Wang Yang says to both of them, how about you two do me a favor today? And as soon as Jiang Yunqi hears Wang Yang's words, he gets angry and says, who do you think you are to even talk about favor with us, the Xianhua dynasty? But Song Tie tells Jiang Yunqi to keep calm. Then he says to Wang Yang, fellow cultivator, we are under orders to bring back Empress Yi Linlang. Please do not interfere in this matter. And Wang Yang smilingly says to Song Tie, what if I refuse? And the system says to Wang Yang, due to the host's rising killing intent, Heaven and Earth Star Technique has instantly reached its peak mastery. And Song Tie replies to Wang Yang and says, then don't blame us for being merciless. Then Wang Yang says to the system, stupid system, what does the Heaven and Earth Star Technique do? So the system tells Wang Yang, the Heaven and Earth Star Technique can absorb attacks of the same realm, and then reflect them back with double power. And on hearing this, a smile comes on Wang Yang's face. Then he says to both of them, you're not even worthy of me making a move. I'll stand here and let you have 3 moves. If you can hurt me, you can do whatever you want with the Empress. And on hearing Wang Yang's words, both of them get surprised. Then Yi Linlang says to Wang Yang, Emperor Wang Yang, what are you doing? And Qingyao says, Ancestral Master, don't be so reckless. These two are really strong. And Wang Yang says to both of them, don't worry, they can't hurt me. And Jiang Yunqi becomes happy after hearing Wang Yang's words. Then he activates his power and says, if you can take 3 punches from me, we'll turn back and leave. And Wang Yang tells Jiang Yunqi to go ahead. Then Jiang Yunqi hits a dangerous fist on Wang Yang. But before Wang Yang could hit him, his fist started melting, and Jiang Yunqi was shocked to see this and he thought, 90% of my power disappeared like a clay ox entering the sea, this guy's got some skills. And Jiang Yunqi came close to Wang Yang to hit him with his second fist, Terrifying God Fist, Third Form Void Shattering Dragon Fist, And just as Jiang Yunqi's fist was about to hit Wang Yang, a barrier appeared in front of Wang Yang, and Wang Yang easily stopped Jiang Yunqi's fist. And Wang Yang smilingly said to Jiang Yunqi, "Is your so-called Emperor realm status just for boasting?" And after listening to Wang Yang, Jiang Yunqi gets very angry and he is about to use a dangerous technique for the third attack, seeing which Song Tie tries to stop him and says, "Brother Jiang, don't use that move." But now it is too late, and a demon body appears behind Jiang Yunqi, and Jiang Yunqi is about to attack Wang Yang with Heavenly King Incantation Divine Buddha Palm. And Wang Yang gets ready to stop his fist, and he also activates his technique, Heaven and Earth Star Technique Heaven and Earth Dharma Body. Then Jiang Yunqi attacks Wang Yang, seeing which Qing Yao gets scared and she says, "Ancestral Master is too powerful." And Yilin Lang says, "He actually took a full power attack from an Emperor's Dharma body. Could his strength be beyond the Emperor realm?" Then Wang Yang uses Heaven and Earth Star Technique and moves his hand forward. And very easily Wang Yang reverses Jiang Yunqi's attack, due to which blood starts coming out of Jiang Yunqi's mouth and he gets very badly injured. And then Song Tie catches Jiang Yunqi and Jiang Yunqi says, "Damn it, this guy is definitely using some dirty trick. I refuse to accept this. Let me try 3 more punches." But Song Tie says to Jiang Yunqi, "Brother Jiang, don't be rash, your body has already been damaged." And Wang Yang comes in front of them, and he says to Song Tie, "Since he's done, why don't you give it a try?" But Song Tie is scared of Wang Yang and he says, "Thank you, fellow cultivator, for showing mercy just now. We will keep our word and leave." And he says farewell and leaves very fast, and the 3 of them are just watching them leaving. Then Qing Yao says to Wang Yang, "Ancestral Master, are you hurt?" Then Wang Yang says, "Don't worry, I'm fine." And Yilin Lang says to Wang Yang, "That technique just now was truly amazing." And Wang Yang says, "It was nothing special." Then Yilin Lang says, "Today, the great Qing dynasty is indebted to Emperor Wang Yang's kindness. I am deeply grateful. We'll host a banquet at the Imperial Palace later. I hope you both can honor us with your presence." And Wang Yang says to Yilin Lang, "Since it's the Empress's invitation, I won't decline." After some time, Yilin Lang comes to the people of her sect, and they are very happy to see Yilin Lang. Then Yilin Lang introduces Wang Yang to her sect members and says, "This is Emperor Wang Yang from the Spirit Sword sect, and he will also soon be crowned as the sovereign of our great Qing dynasty." And as soon as the elders hear that Wang Yang is the sovereign, they get very shocked, but they all bow down in front of Wang Yang and say, "Greetings, Your Majesty, long live the king, long live, long live." And Wang Yang asks the system, "Wait, what exactly is the position of the sovereign?" And the system tells Wang Yang, "Congratulations, Master, for accepting the worship of the great Qing dynasty's people. You've gained merit points." And as soon as Wang Yang hears about merit points from the system, he gets very angry and he catches hold of the system and says to it, "What are merit points? Did you secretly add some kind of mission system without telling me? Tell me the truth. Otherwise, I'll immediately unbind you." And the system is telling Wang Yang, "No. There isn't, absolutely not." And Wang Yang says to the system, "Stupid system, what's this merit point? Regular cultivation worlds don't have this." And the system says, "Host, please calm down, I'll explain everything clearly." Then Wang Yang releases the system, and the system says to Wang Yang, "Ahem, merit points are generated by the admiration and worship of others. Doing good deeds, saving lives, or serving the country can all earn you merit." And Wang Yang says, "So being a good person makes one stronger? Then why bother cultivating?" And the system says, "Gathering a vast amount of wishes isn't easy, but kings and high officials who are respected can earn merit quickly. Once you use merit to form a merit dharma body, you can be as powerful as the nascent soul realm from the start." And Wang Yang looking at Yilin Lang says, "I see. So that means the Empress cultivates through the merit dharma body." And the system says, "No, the Empress is a rare dual cultivator." And Yilin Lang says to Wang Yang, "Emperor Wang Yang, what's the matter? Don't you like the capital?" So Wang Yang says, No, I just remembered something from the past." And Wang Yang thinks, this Empress Yilin Lang's value keeps increasing. Then they move forward, and as they move forward, all the citizens bow in front of them and greet them. And one man says, "Is that the mysterious expert who saved the capital? He really has an immortal aura." And Qingao smilingly thinks, "The ancestral master is so handsome, I must stay by his side, even if just as a maid." And as they move forward, they reach near the sect. And all the elders greet them and say, "Congratulations to the Empress on returning victorious." And Yi Linlang says, "It's all thanks to Emperor Wang Yang. Someone, prepare the grandest banquet to entertain our guests." Then Yi Linlang asks an elder, "Why haven't I seen the Grand Advisor welcome me?" So the elder tells the Grand Advisor, "Couldn't come. To protect the national array, she used her life force and now. And as soon as Yi Linlang hears that Grand Advisor is injured, she gets angry at the elder and she says, "Why wasn't I told earlier? Where is the Grand Advisor now?" So the elder says, "The Grand Advisor has been sent back to the Heavenly Secrets Pavilion." And Wang Yang says to Yi Linlang, "Empress, why don't we go visit the Grand Advisor first?" And Yi Linlang says, "Sorry, I lost my composure just now, please forgive me." Then we see Grand Advisor who is injured and resting on the bed, and the disciples are very worried for Grand Advisor, and they say, "Master, you can't be hurt. Master, don't leave us behind." And Yi Linlang and Wang Yang come to meet the Grand Advisor, and Yi Linlang says, "Master, your disciple came too late." And Grand Advisor says, "How many times do I have to say it? Call me the Grand Advisor in public." And Wang Yang, seeing Grand Advisor's bad condition, thinks, "Such a beautiful woman, about to die like this, what a pity." And Grand Advisor says to Wang Yang, "Thank you, Senior, for saving Linlang and the entire Great Qing dynasty." And Wang Yang says, "It was nothing." And Yi Linlang says, "Quickly summon the immortal doctor to heal the Grand Advisor." But Grand Advisor says, "There's no need. In my current condition, only the 9-cycle rebirth pill from the upper immortal realm can save me. Don't waste your efforts." And then the system tells Wang Yang, "Detecting someone needs treatment. Host has received 1 supreme grade 9-cycle rebirth pill." And Wang Yang thinks, "Stupid system, you're really dragging me into karma. Should I keep this pill, or save a life now?" And Wang Yang tells Yi Linlang, "Empress, don't be sad, I happen to have a 9-cycle rebirth pill." And Wang Yang thinks, saving a life comes first. It'd be a shame if such a beauty died. And Yi Linlang gets a little surprised seeing the pill, and she says to Wang Yang, "This is too valuable." "I thank you, Emperor Wang Yang." And Grand Advisor's disciples say to Wang Yang, "Thanks to the immortal Lord, Master is saved." Then Yi Linlang feeds the pill to Grand Advisor, due to which Grand Advisor's whole body starts recovering, and she has made a breakthrough to a new level. And seeing this, Wang Yang thinks, "This 9-cycle rebirth pill even has special effects, no wonder it's only found in the upper immortal realm." And Yi Linlang asks Grand Advisor, "Master, did you just break through a new realm?" And Grand Advisor says to Wang Yang, "Thanks to the senior's bestowed medicine, not only are my injuries healed, I've broken through to the middle stage of the immortal king realm." And Wang Yang smilingly says, "It's a trivial matter, nothing worth mentioning." And then a servant comes and says, "Empress, the banquet is ready." And Yi Linlang says, "Emperor Wang Yang, please join us." And Wang Yang says, "Well, I won't refuse." After some time, in the banquet party, everyone is celebrating their victory and watching the girls dance. And 2 people bring a pot full of wine and serve it to Wang Yang. And Wang Yang looks at the alcohol and thinks, "I haven't drunk alcohol since transmigrating. I wonder how strong it is." And as soon as the system hears Wang Yang's man-ki bot, it tells Wang Yang, the detected host is about to drink alcohol, immediately receiving the Imperial Grade Technique Wine Chi Dragon Technique. And a screen opens in front of Wang Yang and the system says, "Wine Chi Dragon Technique converts alcohol, medicine potency, or poison into true Qi, greatly enhancing body reaction speed." And Wang Yang becomes happy and he thinks, "Haha, now I can eat or drink anything without worry." Then Yi Linlang stands up and picks up the cup and says, "This first cup of wine is from me and the Heavenly Secrets Pavilion, thanking Emperor Wang Yang for the pill that saved the Grand Advisor." Then she drinks and she again picks up the cup and says, "This second cup, I drink on behalf of every citizen of the Great Qing dynasty, to thank Emperor Wang Yang for saving the dynasty." To Emperor Wang Yang. This third cup of wine, I toast once more to Emperor Wang Yang. From now on, you will be the sovereign of our great Qing dynasty. And as soon as the elders hear Yilin Lung's words, they get very shocked and say, "What, sovereign? Does that mean this? This is too sudden." And another elder says, "With this, the great Qing dynasty will have 2 emperor realm experts, who would dare look down on us in the future." But Yilin Lang says, "Silence. I will have the Grand Advisor choose an auspicious date for my wedding with Emperor Wang Yang." But then Qing Yao says to Yilin Lang, "Your Majesty, this is a major event. It cannot be rushed." And after listening to Qing Yao, Yilin Lang gets angry and says, "I have made a heavenly oath to marry none but Emperor Wang Yang. What right do you, a mere junior, have to oppose?" And Qing Yao says, "I'm not opposing your marriage to the ancestral master, but marriage requires proper rituals and ceremonies. If the great Qing dynasty handles everything, wouldn't it seem like the Spirit Sword sect is neglecting the ancestral master?" And after listening to their argument, Wang Yang gets a little surprised and thinks, watching beauties argue is quite entertaining. This trip was worth it. And then the system tells Wang Yang, detected that the host is about to get married, issuing a special wedding reward. And Wang Yang tells the system, "Shut up. The wedding isn't even confirmed yet. Why are you rushing this?" And then a man comes out of the sect and shouts loudly and says, hearing that a great expert has come to Great Qing Dynasty, Left Minister Qi Wenyuan of Xianhua Dynasty has come for a meeting. And as soon as they hear the minister's words, everyone gets very shocked and says, "What? It's Left Minister Qin Wenyan. Why is he here?" And Yilin Lang gets very shocked and she says, "I never expected they'd even send the Left Minister Qin Wenyan. It seems like heaven itself is against the Qing dynasty." And the entire banquet party goes silent. Then Wang Yang says, "Who exactly is this Left Minister Qin Wenyan?" Then Qing Yao says, "The Xianyu dynasty has stood for 1,000 years. Currently, they have 1 emperor, 2 ministers, and 4 generals, totaling 7 emperor realm experts. This Qi Wenyuan is one of the 2 ministers, the left minister." And Wang Yang says, "Since he's just at the emperor level, why are you all so panicked?" Then Yilin Lang says, "This left minister Qi Wenyuan isn't terrifying because of his strength, but because he's Xianhua dynasty's #1 strategist. He's a master of planning, always flawless in his schemes. He can destroy nations or save them with just a thought." And Wang Yang asks the system, "What realm is this Qi Wenyuan at?" So the system tells Wang Yang, "I'm sorry, host, he's not within detection range. I cannot provide accurate information." And Wang Yang tells the system, "Then step back for now. I'm sure we'll meet this Qin Wenyan soon enough." And the minister again says, "What, perhaps this expert doesn't want to meet me, or do you think I'm beneath you?" And Yilin Lang tells Wang Yang, "Emperor Wang Yang, please leave quickly. Don't get involved with Great Qing's worldly affairs any longer. I fear I can only repay today's debt in my next life." And Qing Yao says, "Your Majesty, you mustn't. If you fulfill their wishes, Great Qing Dynasty's millions of citizens will fall into an endless abyss of suffering. Ancestral Master, this Xianhua dynasty is really not to be trifled with. Why don't we return to Spirit Sword sect?" And Wang Yang says, "I've barely had 2 drinks, and someone's already here to cause trouble. This is intolerable." And Wang Yang says, "Empress, why don't?" And Qing Yao bows down in front of Wang Yang and says, "Sovereign Wang Yang truly has compassion for all. Our great Qing dynasty is in dire straits." And everyone bows down in front of Wang Yang and says, "Sovereign Wang Yang's benevolence is unmatched, truly a blessing for the great Qing dynasty and its people." And Wang Yang thinks, "Damn, I was too slow. Gu Linhua stole the spotlight." Then Yilin Lang says, "Emperor Wang Yang is the great Qing dynasty's esteemed guest. How can you force him to fight for us?" And Wang Yang says to Yilin Lang, "Empress, don't be angry. A mere left minister is no challenge for me. I'll be back soon." And Yilin Lang says smilingly, "This favor is something we can never repay. We can only quietly await Emperor Wang Yang's triumphant return." Then we see the minister who is in the air above the sect and he says, "Humph. It seems the great Qing dynasty prefers to drink punishment wine instead of a peaceful toast. Wen Yuan's artistic technique, harmony thunder blast. But then Wang Yang comes in front of the minister and says to him, "Fellow Taoist, please hold." And Wang Yang stands smiling above the array formation. And Minister Qin Wenyan asks Wang Yang, "Are you that Emperor Wang Yang?" Wang Yang says, "I'm just a wandering cultivator, hardly worthy of the left minister's attention." And Minister Qin Wenyan thinks he shattered Jiang Yun's formidable physique in one strike, yet remains so modest. Clearly, he's not one to be underestimated. And Minister Qin Wenyan says, "Sir Wang Yang is truly modest. If you came to our Xianhua dynasty, your position would be no lower than mine." And Wang Yang says, "I'm just a simple man from the mountains, unfit for high office and wealth. Sir Qi, as a reasonable person, allow me to advise you, Xianhua and Great Xing need not harm their relations." And Minister Qin Wenyan says, "Empress Yilin Lang slaughtered excessively in conquering 6 nations. We're merely upholding justice." And Wang Yang says, "Though uniting 6 nations was done with force, there has been peace ever since. This is a great virtue." And Minister Qin Wenyan says, "Brother Wang is quite silver-tongued. But today I, Shi Wenyuan, am here under orders and must take Yilin Lang back." And Wang Yang says, "I respect you, Mr. Qi. Let's just enjoy our conversation today and avoid conflict." And Minister Qin Wenyan says, "Brother Wang, conflict between nations is inevitable. Or do you have another solution in mind?" And Wang Yang says, "A gentleman's battle need not always be with swords. It can also be won with words." And Minister Qin Wenyan says, "A battle of words, then? But don't say I'm unfair if I win." And Wang Yang thinks, "Cultural duel with me? I'll use the boundless poetry of China to defeat you." And Minister Qin Wenyan says, "Let's make it a wager. If you win, I won't pursue Yilin Lang any further." And Wang Yang gets surprised seeing that thing and he thinks, "Wait a moment. He's not playing by the rules. I don't even know how to play Go." And then the system says to Wang Yang, "System detected that the host is preparing to play Go. Activating AlphaGo system." And Wang Yang says to the system, "Wait, stupid system, is this AlphaGo the same Go playing AI from Earth?" And the system tells Wang Yang, "It's authentic, and it's the latest upgraded version. It can win against the world's top Go players even with a 3-stone handicap." And Wang Yang becomes very happy after listening to the system and he says, "3-stone handicap? Then my Go skills can dominate this world." Then Wang Yang tells Minister Qin Wenyan, "If that's the case, I accept. Sir Qi, please make your move." And Minister Qin Wenyan says, "Brother Wang, are you really giving me the first move?" But Wang Yang says, "Who said it's just the first move? I'll give you 2. And Minister Qin Wenyan gets surprised on hearing Wang Yang's words and he says, "Brother Wang, are you insulting me? My Go skills are renowned throughout the kingdoms." But Wang Yang says, "A gentleman's word cannot be taken back. If Sir Qi wins, I'll accept any punishment." And Minister Qin Wenyan says, "If I lose, this Moyun Tianzu sword is yours, and I'll leave immediately." And the system tells Wang Yang, "Game data input progress." And Wang Yang thinks this system really is smart. Looks like I can totally dominate him here. And many people are watching Minister Qin Wenyan and Wang Yang's gameplay and they are saying, "What? Lord is playing Go against left Minister Qi Wenyuan? That's impossible to win." And the other man says, "Indeed, Qi Wenyuan once defeated 18 national masters of Xianhua dynasty Xin Jia handedly. His skills are terrifying." And Yilin Lang says to them, "Enough talk. The Lord will surely triumph." And Qingyao is thinking, the ancestral master can even play Go. He's so multi-talented. And Grand Advisor thinks, a 2-stone handicap against a top-level player? This is unheard of. Hope nothing goes wrong. And Minister Qin Wenyan, seeing Wang Yang's move thinks, he's making perfect moves every time. It's incredible. And Wang Yang smilingly makes his move, haha. Just like the rumors say, it's truly dominating. Even a novice like me can easily overpower the experts. And Minister Qin Wenyan is a bit nervous and he thinks, even with a 2-stone handicap, I'm still at a disadvantage. Wang Yang's skill is truly unfathomable. And seeing the gameplay of both of them, the crowd starts talking again and one man says, "Why hasn't the left minister given the signal? Could he be caught up in the game?" And the other man says, Sir, she must have a plan. Let's wait and see. And Minister Qin Wenyan gets very nervous and he thinks, why? Why does he see through every move I make? Why? Why isn't his focus on the game? Could he have noticed my backup plan? And then Wang Yang plays his last move and says, Sir Qi, the game is over. Thank you for the game. And now Minister Qin Wenyan has lost, and he is very shocked, and he says, impossible. With a 2-stone handicap, I still lost. This can't be. And Minister Qin Wenyan starts bleeding from his mouth, and seeing this Wang Yang gets even more shocked, and he thinks, it's just a game, no need to be so dramatic. But the bleeding from Minister Qin Wenyan's mouth does not stop, seeing which Wang Yang thinks, brother, it's just a game of Go, no need to be so dramatic. And the system says to Wang Yang, congratulations host. Through the game, the opponent's spirit is damaged, dropping to Immortal King Realm. And Wang Yang says, why do you look a bit off? And the system says, seems like a bug. Can't get the reward. And Wang Yang happily says, are you trying to make me die laughing? Then Wang Yang says to Minister Qin Wenyan, brother Qi, thanks for the game. But then suddenly 2 people attack Wang Yang from behind, and a huge explosion takes place. But Wang Yang easily stops the attack of both of them by making a barrier, seeing which a man says, as expected, there's a protective shell. Old song, try again from another angle. And Song Tie says, got it. My apologies, Sir Wang Yang. And they together attack Wang Yang again. But this time Wang Yang is ready and he says, since you're seeking death, don't blame me for being merciless. Then Wang Yang reverses the attack of both of them, seeing which the man gets surprised and says this. How is this possible? Then Minister Qin Wenyan says to both of them, enough. Both of you, stand down. And Minister Qin Wenyan says to Wang Yang, I overestimated myself earlier. Thank you, Sir Wang Yang, for graciously teaching me. We will honor our agreement. And Wang Yang says, farewell, no need to see us off. And the other man says to Minister Qin Wenyan, Left Minister, why didn't you join in earlier to help eliminate this threat to His Majesty? But Minister Qin Wenyan says, sigh, that Wang Yang is unfathomable. His Go skills might have reached the realm of the Tao of strategy. But the other man still gets angry and he says, so what if he's good at Go? What's the big deal? And Minister Qin Wenyan says, that could be the realm of a heavenly Tao sage, what did you think it was? And the other man says, the realm of a heavenly Tao sage? Impossible. And Minister Qin Wenyan says, I'll advise His Majesty not to provoke the great Qing dynasty any further or the consequences could be disastrous. And then the system says it's about to come out. And Wang Yang thinks, why do you look constipated? And then the system shows a fragment to Wang Yang and says, finally, it's refined at last. And looking at the fragment Wang Yang says, what kind of fragment is this? Doesn't look like much. And the system tells Wang Yang, this is a heavenly Tao fragment. No matter how talented a cultivator is, without comprehending a heavenly Tao fragment, they cannot become a heavenly Tao sage. Then Wang Yang catches the fragment and starts absorbing it, and a lot of energy starts coming out of the fragment. And an old man sitting in the cave feels that energy, but he gets surprised and he says, this aura. Could it be a heavenly Tao fragment? The battle for the great Tao hasn't begun yet, how could a heavenly Tao fragment appear? And another old man also feels that power and he says, the appearance of a heavenly Tao fragment. It seems the world is about to descend into chaos. And a female says, I wonder who will claim this heavenly Tao fragment. This humble one has been waiting for so long. Then we see 2 people and one man says, you didn't set this whole thing up, did you? And the other man says, the heavenly Tao fragment is the only path to becoming a sage, how could I bear to give it up? Then Wang Yang reaches another place and he gets surprised seeing that. And the system tells Wang Yang, host, this is the heavenly Tao altar within your sea of consciousness. Place that fragment in the central disk to activate the power of the heavenly Tao. And Wang Yang does exactly what the system told him to do, and Wang Yang places the fragment in the middle. And then a very strong energy starts coming out. And the system tells Wang Yang, Emperor Realm Stage 3 to Emperor Realm Stage 4. Tao of Strategy 9th rank Hidden Wisdom. And Wang Yang gets very surprised and he says, "Not only has my realm improved, but I've also gained a brand new heavenly Tao level." And the system says, "Ninth rank hidden wisdom, grants 3 black and 3 white stones, each providing a unique opportunity when used." And Wang Yang says, "Opportunities from using stones? Is this for external use or internal use? Explain a bit." And the system says, "Host, it's neither internal nor external. Now that you're a game master, you can use these stones to assist or hinder others." And Wang Yang says, "A game master? That title sounds pretty impressive." And the system says, "The game master uses the world as their board, all beings as pieces, everything is within their grasp." But Wang Yang says, "Stop, just tell me the main point. Do I have any powers besides playing Go?" And the system says, "Currently, host, you're immune to the suppression techniques of enemies in the same realm, and you can also nullify the suppression of Emperor realm by supreme beings." And Wang Yang says, "The protagonists in novels always kill opponents across realms. This ability is pretty lame." Then Wang Yang comes back down, and Yi Lin Lang tells Wang Yang, "Never expect your Go skills to be so magnificent, husband. It's truly an eye-opener." And Wang Yang says, "Qi Wen Yuan's Tao heart was shattered from losing the Go match. His realm has dropped to immortal king. He won't trouble the great Qing dynasty for a while." And all the elders say to Wang Yang, "Long live the Lord." And Yi Lin Lang says, "Quick, bring more wine. A toast to our Lord's triumphant return." Then Wang Yang uses his power and upgrades the array formation. And the system says to Wang Yang, "Congratulations, host, on upgrading the Imperial Protection Array and establishing a connection with it. System reward issued, Sacred Grade Sword Technique, Heaven's 9 Tribulation Sword." And Wang Yang gets a little surprised seeing the book, and he starts thinking about something. And Grand Advisor says, "What's going on? Why does the Imperial Protection Array look like?" And Wang Yang thinks, "So this is how the white stones work. They can turn all beings into pieces. Does that mean I can control others, husband? This outfit. It's so embarrassing." And Wang Yang becomes very happy imagining Yi Lin Lang. Then he tells them, "Stay calm, I've just done a little upgrade to the Imperial Protection Array. From now on, unless a Supreme Realm expert arrives, this array can resist all external enemies." And Grand Advisor thinks the Imperial Protection Array has indeed been strengthened. Emperor Wang Yang is truly unfathomable. And the elders say, "Our Lord is incredible. He might have already reached supreme cultivation." Then the scene shifts, and we see a man who is drinking and he says, "Who would have thought even the all-calculating left minister could miscalculate?" And another man says, "The powerful expert named Wang Yang, whom Empress Yi Ling Lang invited, has unfathomable strength. I hope your majesty will temporarily halt actions against the great Qing dynasty."